Hi, welcome to the Women in Law Canada YouTube channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Tanya, and today I wanted to give you a couple of tips on work-life balance. So I think it's really important that as law students and just people in general, that we do make time for work-life balance, have some fun. Otherwise, what's the point of having a life, like if you can't even enjoy it, or have this money if you can't enjoy it? So, if you don't know, I worked for about 10 years before I went back to law school. So, I'm a little bit older and I do have three kids at home, and I'm currently also working. So, just to give you a brief overview of my schedule, I work around 32 hours a week, and then I have three classes that I'm taking in law school that I took throughout the year. And then I do have my kids. We split custody, so it's 50-50. A little bit different for me as well in my law school journey is that typically it takes 3 years to complete the JD. However, I am doing my second year on a part time basis. So it'll take me 4 years instead of three. So it's a big week. It's a lot to kind of handle. I don't have any early morning classes this semester, but I did have a late night one from 6 to 8:45. And then I have around an hour and 50-minute commute one way to get to my university. So it can get busy, it can get hectic on top of studying and papers and exams and all of these things. So one thing that I heard a lot about was how lawyers work so many hours in a week, like 100-hour weeks, and they just don't have time for fun. Even if you look at shows like Suits, where you see them in the office until like 10 p.m. and showing up early, things like that, there is that stigma attached to being a lawyer where you just kind of work all the time. And I know that lawyers work really, really hard. And I know I'm not a lawyer yet, so I can't speak to that side of things. But as a law student and a working mom, I know a little bit about how to manage time and ensure a healthy work life balance. Well, I don't know about healthy because I do have like mental breakdowns. I've had to come up with some mechanisms to make sure that I do have some sort of work life balance. Otherwise, I would just go insane. So, the first two are pretty basic and they're pretty common sense. So, the first one is sleep. So, I prioritize my sleep. I go to bed between 10 and 10:30 every night. I know I'm old, and I would honestly probably go to bed earlier if I didn't have my kids here, but they stay up a little longer, so I stay up with them so I can spend that extra time with them. And then I'm up between 6:30 and 7:30 in the morning, depending. So, one tool that I did use to kind of help me gauge my sleep quality is I got this Oura ring, and I think it's pretty great. It kind of tracks your sleep quality and how long you sleep, how long it takes you to fall asleep, on top of like other health things. But for me, sometimes I would wake up in the morning still feeling tired and I didn't know why. And even though I thought I slept a long period of time, it wasn't restful quality sleep. So, and I also really cut down on drinking alcohol. So I make these great mocktails most nights to just help me chill and relax. So that's been really good for me. And my sleep. The second one is just eating healthy foods. I've been trying to change. Sometimes it's hard when I'm busy and running around trying to eat. So sometimes you would stop at McDonald's or Subway, get something out of convenience, but I would just always feel super crappy after. I have gotten some factor meals, so they're meals that are just already cooked and you just heat them up. And we do get HelloFresh on occasion. And it's not all the time. Like, it really depends on my schedule. Sometimes I won't order it for the week and I'll just cook at home. So it's really dependent, but I have been trying to really cut down on junk food and stuff like that and just trying to eat healthier because then I feel better because I have like the right energy. Number three is really, I needed to prioritize my life. So my house doesn't always look spick and span, but my schoolwork is done and I get some quality time with my kids, which is what was important to me. I'm lucky that I have a good partner that really helps me out with cooking and cleaning and laundry and all that stuff while I'm in school. And that's really been a great support. Obviously, when I'm working my job, I make sure that everything is done there. I'm on top of everything. And then the rest of the time, I have to make sure that my kids get time with their mom, but I still get a chance to study and do these things. So I have been trying to decide what's important, what's not, what can wait a little bit longer, so that I can focus on what's really important right now. And I know that even though it's really hard and it sucks sometimes, in the long term, it'll be worth it. But that also means that sometimes I can't go out for coffee or drinks or supper with my friends because I have to stay at home and work on some school stuff. So, fourth tip is organization. So when I have school stuff that is coming up, that I know is coming up, I try to get started on it as soon as possible, not procrastinate. So I'm not like stressed out last minute. And I try to have some time blocks that this is what I'm going to work on then. So I know sometimes I had a class in the morning and then I had a break and then I had something else. So I'll take that 2-3 hour break in between that I purposely scheduled my classes so I will have that break. So I don't have any excuses. I'm not at home. I'll be at school and I'll have that time frame like already in my schedule that I can just go to the library and work on to make sure that my shit gets done, because I do get tired and sometimes I don't feel like doing some work, especially if it's not a class that I particularly enjoy, that is in like my field of passion. So I kind of have to force myself to do it, but it works for me. I do have some time set like for my kids, some time set for my partner so we can have some quality time. So it's really just organization. And that can be tricky when you're working on group projects because you're not in control of your time all the time. So it's a collaboration. It's happened to me that I was planning on working on something like Sunday afternoon, but I needed something from someone else and they didn't get it to me on time. So then it was scramble to try to get stuff done on a different day that I had something else planned. So it also means that I need to be flexible and not so stick on a specific schedule, but it helps me to have some specific times that are intended for certain things, right? And the last one is self-care. So I have been trying to really take time for myself and making time to go on walks with the dog. Even if it's in the evening, it's really important to me to go at least 30 minutes, just walk, clear my head. Um, and also part of my self-care kind of blends into some family time for me is my oldest daughter and I are obsessed with the Vampire Diaries. So most nights we'll take like an hour and just watch one episode, sometimes two. So I get to spend some one-on-one time with my daughter while also it's just chill for me and I enjoy it, so it's fun. I love to take baths and read. And while I can't do them like all the time, I do try to make sure that especially when I'm feeling overwhelmed, I will carve out a couple hours and just do something that is fun for me instead of forcing work or forcing studying because I just won't be productive. So it's important to take care of self-care, but not go overboard. I do tend to go overboard, but that's okay. Like every day is a treat day. Anyways, so those are some of my work-life balance tips, but I would love to hear yours. This is just kind of what works for me and my schedule right now. Next semester might look completely different in terms of how I organize my things and what is being done, but that is what is currently working for me. But like I said, I would love to hear some of your tips for work-life balance. What do you do? What would you recommend? Please share with us so we can all learn. And I guess that's it. Until next time, I am thinking that my next video is going to be just like a conversation between myself and Malian Levi, who is a lawyer in New Brunswick. She's currently completing her master's degree at Dal University. So I'm really excited to speak with her. And then for our VIP members, we'll have a special Q&A. So send in your questions, and we'll see you next time. One thing that I heard a lot was how lawyers work all of these hours, like $100. I just spilled water like all over me.